I didn't win Jazzies. I didn't win Jazzies.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Metahuman Macaluco, and today I am proud to have none other than you, Gabe, on the channel. How we doing today, Gabe?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Luca? Everything's going all right. Thank you for having me on here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So, right off rip, you said you did not win the Jazzy circuit at Rock Esports.
Oh well, yeah, it was my first time entering the Jazzy qualifiers, and I was really happy to enter in that because I never thought I would ever enter in a Jazzy qualifier before. You know, going into Third Strike or fighting games in general. Um, I just thought about just playing these games and never thinking like taking it to bigger heights. So going into a Jazzy qualifier was definitely an eye-opening experience and very cool.
Gotcha. And what was the competition for? It was Street Fighter 3,
Yes, it was.
Third Strike?
Yeah, Street Fighter Three Third Strike. Yeah, a lot of people were playing that there, but over there are okay. They had just like a bunch of games like Street Fighter Two Turbo, uh, Under Night. People were playing this like any games. People were playing chess over there, which is crazy. I never seen that at Land Center before.
That is pretty crazy. And is Street Fighter Third Strike your favorite game?
For fighting games, no, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite game, but for fighting games, I think it really has to be either Bloody Roar One for the PS1. I don't know if you've ever played that, or Super Clash of Ninja 4, which is like a mod of Clash of Ninja 4 that never came to America, but it has like crazy wide cancels, crazy combos, and to me, I think it's better than Ninja Storm gameplay wise. I love everything about Ninja Storm. Truly, I think it's a fantastic game. But Naruto or Bloody Roar, that has to be my favorite fighting game.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say your favorite games for comfort and favorite games for competition?
Oh man. So my favorite games for comfort definitely has to be like Kingdom Hearts. I've been playing this game called Infinite Undiscovery for the Xbox 360. I've been getting back into a lot of retro games because now I have the capability of playing a lot of retro games or games that I missed out on. So I've been playing a lot of Infinite Discovery, Lost Odyssey, Shadow of the Colossus. Been getting into Ratchet and Clank, um, Silent Hill, Resident Evil. I've always been into those. Those, I guess you could say, are like comforting titles for me. Also, Bloodborne, a lot of the Dark Souls games. I like skateboarding games a lot. Like I used to skateboard a lot back when I was younger, and so session, a little bit of skate here and there, but not too much. As for competition, my favorite games that I can say that I like to play competitively does have to be Street Fighter Third Strike and also that Clash of Ninjas, Super Clash of Ninja.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you've held Street Fighter 3 tournaments at Prodigy Games at DK's Battle Lounge.
Yes, yes. In fact, I remember seeing you there, and that was actually the first time seeing you there, and it was actually quite a show. It was my first time ever running any sort of tournament ever, and the way I did it was I ran the tournament online exclusively for people who were playing on a cell phone. This app called GGpro, similar to Fightcade, but it's on an Android device or an Android phone. So it's pretty wild to say this, but we have like a Fightcade mobile, Fightcade Lite, whatever you want to call it. We have it actually, and it works really well. That's what I've actually been training on the most, aside from Fightcade, so that I can enter these tournaments. And but yeah, going back to Prodigy Games, yeah, uh, DK, shout out to DK. He allowed me to host my first ever tournament there, and it was a wonderful experience. Crazy experience, but wonderful experience. I had I think 17 people.
Okay.
Yeah, my first time. 17 participants from America to Brazil to Argentina. It was just fantastic.
And other than Prodigy Games, have you been able to host any other venues?
No, I have not actually. I chose Prodigy Games at first to be like my um I guess you could say like first thing or like my first choice because I wanted to fit the vibe of a gaming event. I've always wanted to fit the vibe of where I used to go to participate in tournaments. And I felt like, well, if I'm setting up a tournament scene, right, or even event, right, I think I should do it all the way. Give the people that don't know about how America does things in terms of video game content or tournaments or whatnot, showing them, giving them a chance. So um, I wanted everything to be as authentic as possible. So I'm like, let's host it at an actual land center and see where it goes from there. So
Gotcha. And you're
yeah.
still there right now today?
So since then, so since then I moved away from Prodigy Games to actually host my tournaments inside like my actual home since it's all online based. It's a lot easier actually to host that. It's still the same setup, but everybody that participates, they're on their own cell phone or let's say PCs if they want to connect that way, and that's how they play. So I do everything at home now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, where the internet's better. Really,
And you've been playing competitively for many, many years yourself. What would you
about five
say?
years. Yeah.
What would you say was your favorite match, and was it live streamed?
Oh man, my favorite match. Let's see. I've had quite a few favorite matches in the past. Um, since I've had them all, like there's just so many like to count for. Like I guess one time that I could really remember when I was getting like really seasoned at Third Strike, it was at a kava bar, and it was really late at night, and I remember I was able to parry Remy's like super where he just sends all those like sonic boom barrages, and you have to like parry that or block. That was really cool. Or when I first learned how to parry or did parry Ibuki's like jumping kunai attack, and she jumps and she like just throws a bunch of kunais, and you see your character just flash like a madman. Or pairing one of my friends who played as Akuma. He did like Akuma's Mitsugi, and I just parried that, which nobody does. Like you have to block that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was able to do that. But I think my most memorable moment for Third Strike, and I think what really set the stone for me to continue on or stop where I was at was it was Fighter Fest either 4 or 5, and Silverback Senpai, which we know Silverback Senpai.
Yes.
He hosted a fantastic tournament, and it was the first time where I actually met DK. But most importantly, I versed this guy named Troy Boy Florida, who apparently at the time was one of the best Ryus in South Florida or North America or whatever.
Wasn't this at CEO this happened?
No. This was at this was I saw him again, but actually this actually happened in Fort Lauderdale at
Oh, at Fighter
at
Fest.
Fighters Fest at the convention center, at the rec
Okay.
center. And so I just remember seeing everybody in that room, crazy as can be, like playing Street Fighter 6, before it came out, or the demo rather, sorry, and Third Strike. And this guy just tapped me on the shoulder because he saw me having my fight stick. And he's like, "Hey, could I borrow your fight stick?" And me, I'm usually very jovial, friendly, and like, I don't give a damn. Here, try it. So I see him just whooping ass after I like stroll around through the venue, not really paying attention. I come back and I just see this guy whooping some serious ass, and I'm just like, oh man, who is he? He's using my stick, and somebody's like, you don't know who that is? That's Troy Boy, Florida. He's one of the best Ryus in South Florida. I'm like, oh no shit. And lo and behold, wouldn't you think I versed him on stream, and he cooked me. He destroyed me. However, I would manage to get 3 consecutive throws on him in stream, and I think that was good enough for me at that time because I didn't know shit about third strike at that time, and he humbled me. You know what I mean? Along with my other friend Ray's, who is uh, one of the best mentors I have, along with my good friend Batista, who teaches me third strike, along with a lot of other people. But without those two people at the time, for Fighters Fest, for playing with me in tournament and just talking with me and telling me, keep at it with this, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And on top of that, a lot of my other friends too. Like I owe it all. I owe a lot to my friend Lewis, or Sleeves. A lot of people call him Sleeves. I owe it a lot to him because without him and his support and him being really supportive of me and being happy with what I was happy about and doing, it just made me want to propel forward. Um, my good buddy Mike, who I call Batista, he really taught me how to play third strike, and he was also always there with me, trying to like hone in on like, okay, what I know, what am I missing, and he's really like a true teacher. And without that, I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere. So I owe a lot to those two amongst many other people who I hold dear to my heart.
I got you.
Yeah.
And throughout your career, you've been to Fighters Fest, CEO, and so many other venues and events.
Yes.
What would you say are your favorites?
CEO bar none. Man, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, okay, so for me, how I got started in like playing video games at all. And of course, I want to hear like your stuff, man, because I can't ask me all the questions. You know what I mean? But how I started playing video games was the only video game consoles that I had were Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64 at the time. My older brother Mike was up in Gainesville and he had PlayStation 1. And I also have another brother as well that stayed with me. He was older too. So I have 2 older brothers. We've all been into video games, which is great. And my first fighting game that I can remember was Mortal Kombat 2 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Which Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is the best one besides Mortal Kombat X? I don't care. I don't want to hear it. It's the best. But I digress. That game, and then when I went up to Gainesville to visit my brother Mike occasionally, uh, there he had Resident Evil, which scared the shit out of me. I had nightmares about that. Um, and also Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is going to be important. Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Bloody Roar. And I love the shit out of Bloody Roar. Have you ever seen, heard, played?
I have heard of Bloody Roar. I've seen the gameplay.
Dude, when I saw the Ninja Mole Buckaroo and him doing like his like jumping like twist thing, you see all like the blood and you see all the crazy combos and I was like 6 years old, like 7 years old, so I thought like Alice the bunny was like kind of hot, you know what I mean? But then again, I'm like 7 years old. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything, but I knew what women were. So, um, so with all of that, I mean, especially with Alpha 3, right? I took all of that right? And I played those games, yeah, but once I grew up, it was kind of like my brother would let me borrow,
Right.
his games. And then I guess like 10 years later or 5 years later, when we meet again, I would still be playing these games, but he'll be playing like something different. He's like, "Hey man, have you heard of this?" And it's just like CVS 2, and it's like, "Well, what is CVS 2?" And then it's like another like Street Fighter, but with other characters from this game called King of Fighters, and it's like that
Oh yeah,
King of Fighters is good, and big in Mexico too, which it's
big in South America.
yeah, no, big in South America in general. But my start with video games, like I love GTA. I love a lot of games. They're
Didn't you start off your career with Alpha 3 and then slowly work your way into Third Strike?
yes, yes. So so for forever at a time, right? When I thought of Street Fighter, I always thought Alpha 3. And this is the only thing that I knew because my family, right, was very much so into it. You have my older brother, you have my second older brother, you have my cousin, who is older than me, but not older than them. Then you have me, right? Well, I guess you could say like I have like another cousin as well. So 5 or 6 people in the family played this game, and Akuma was like the family character. It's just like it was just like passed down, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I remember my cousin Johnny, who where we're from the Dominican Republic, which if you know is now very heavily populated with a lot of Street Fighter players. Well, I didn't know at the time that the Dominican Republic, especially Santo Domingo, they're very they're very passionate about Street Fighter, and there were tournaments going on over there.
Really?
Yeah, that I didn't even know about, but my cousin would tell me about it, and he would participate. He's really good, whoop my ass all the time. And so for the longest time, I thought Alpha 3 was it. And that doesn't mean that I didn't participate in Street Fighter 4 or Guilty Gear or any of that stuff. It wasn't that. It was the fact that at those times, at that time when everybody was on fighting games, I wasn't. I was more so playing my story driven games, shooter games like Halo 2, trying to get good at Halo 2, things like that. But I had Alpha 3 on the back burner, you know, and I still held it dear to my heart. But I wanted to be a part of something more.
Right.
I there was a part of me where it was like for a time when I did play a lot of Halo 2, it was at a place called Sub-Zero Games. At Sub-Zero Games, half of that place, um, well, most of the land center, half of the land center was filled with first person shooter people, and the rest fighting game, old heads.
Right.
And but that carried over through the Wellington Mall when Guerrilla Games was around, and then you had various different house like sessions and house parties from these people that used to run these land centers, still running the tradition, and it's fighting games. And it's like, man, I kind of want to be a part of that because they played Naruto. I love Naruto. I love the anime, and it's just like, how do I get into that when I have no money, for myself, and my mom's broke too,
Yeah.
single parent raising 3 kids. That's like hard as shit. And it's like, how do we do this? You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I didn't get my start on actually playing everything competitively until about like 6 years ago. I would say 6, 7 years ago. So around when the Nintendo Switch started coming out,
Yes.
that's when I actually took um like Street Fighter Alpha, right, kind of seriously, right? There was this other place called Pro Play Games over here in West Palm Beach, uh, near Belvedere, where it was a card shop that my friend George Machado he actually owns, and he's very big time with it. But I would go in there, play old games on their TVs and stuff with my like hacked Wii, like
Right.
a bunch of old games. But everybody was playing like Guilty Gear, like Xrd 2 and fucking Skullgirls and Street Fighter 5, which we don't talk about anymore. I'm just kidding. But all these people that I know now, this is where I met them from PPG, you know. And when I saw those people, I was like, man, I want to be like with them. I felt like alone. I felt like outcasted. So I was like, what is that game that everybody knows that's like a ticket kind of in the FGC? And it's like Third Strike, and it's just like when I heard about it, I was like, "What the hell is a Third Strike?" Like what the hell is
Yeah.
a Third Strike? And when I saw it, I was just like, hey man, well, what's this game? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I hated that game. I was like, no, it's Alpha 3 or nothing. Until like I really got into it, and I'm just like, okay, like let me see why like people are into it, you know. So I took my time with it, and then the 30th anniversary collection came out for the Nintendo Switch and all those other consoles.
Right.
So when I heard about that, I was like, oh man, a portable console that I could take anywhere, play Street Fighter online anywhere, and that's not Fightcade, because I knew a little bit about Fightcade, but I didn't dabble yet into it. I'm like, I'm sold. You know what I mean? So when I got that, I dabbled in both Alpha and Third Strike. And then I kind of like dropped Alpha a little bit more and then focused on Third Strike because a lot of my friend groups, they were like, you either need to play Alpha 2 or you play Third Strike. It's one or the other. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And I stuck with Third Strike because it seemed like everybody and their mothers knew what Third Strike was, you know. And so many people used to say, "Oh man, you're free. You're not good at this game. Get better. Learn your fundamentals." And yeah, it's true. But I just love the game. I just started loving the game and like getting into it and just training hard. It was like real martial arts to me. So it felt really good just like getting into that and honing that. And then from there on, that's where everything just started. You know what I mean? It was like a blink. And it's just like here we are right now, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much like my start on how I transitioned from Alpha 3 to Third Strike.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you brought in your little computer with you today.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, so um all right. So a little bit about this. Now, um I'm gonna turn this on really quickly. Okay. So usually I would have something smaller than this, and a lot of people are, well, how should I say this? A lot of people know what Asus is. They're a very reputable gaming, not gaming company, but like computer company, laptop company that caters to gamers. Well, this is the ROG Ally, not the ROG Ally X, the one that just came out. This is like an older model that came out a couple years ago, but yes, it is a gaming PC.
Right.
And this is what I play Third Strike on now, but I play it on an app called GGpro. Now, this now before I used to have like a little Game Boy looking thing called a Retroid Pocket. And the reason why I bought that was because I didn't want to carry around my Switch, didn't want to carry around my heavy laptop that weighed 1,000 pounds, but I really wanted to play Fight Kid,
Right.
and but more importantly, I wanted to play my games on the go at kava bars or lounges when I got bored instead of on my cell phone. So when I picked this up, that's what I did. I was like, okay, cool. I have my games on my phone. Resident Evil 4, Baten Kaitos, anything you want, anything you could think of. I had them on this little device. Right? And then I was thinking to myself, man, it'd be really awesome if I could play some fighting games on this.
Right.
And then I looked up on Google, like, hey, is there like a Fightcade equivalent, but on mobile? And lo and behold, there's this thing called GGPO. Not to get confused with GGPO on the computer, right? But it's just like an adaptation. The guy who created the app on the Android just borrowed the name, while Fightcade did its thing and became better. It's kind of like the same thing, but Fightcade got better, and I mean, now you guys like have Fightcade,
Right.
but it's like, well, what about those people who don't have much, or need to be resourceful? All that they have is their phones half the time, whether it be in South America, sometimes in North America. You just don't have a lot, so you got to do with what you have, and that's where GGPO comes into play, and it's such a beautiful thing. And really quickly, I want to show you guys this, because you can also get this on any Android phone. It works, like, it works really well. Surprisingly, sometimes it works better than Fightcade in terms of connections. And literally, like, you can literally play King of Fighters, Street Fighter, um all those games on Fightcade. You could play them on your cell phone. And yes, it's like touch screen and whatnot, but you could hook up your fight stick to it, like how I do,
Right.
or you could play like how I play like this. Usually, for me, you're always gonna find me playing on a stick, yeah. But the thing is, I'm ambidextrous when it comes to the controllers that I play. You know,
Right.
but this is. Here, I'm gonna show you, Luca. This is what it looks like. Right. It
Oh
looks
yeah.
it looks kind of like it looks kind of like Fight Kid a little bit. You got your lobbies and whatnot. If you see like a grayed out game like this one on the side, you could tap in and load the game in and whatnot, just like Fightcade. But this is what I really play Third Strike on. You got your lobbies. Oh, no, hold on here. So you got your lobbies in here.
That is crazy.
You got all your users. These are all like the players that you can see being played right here, and also you can watch matches. Right now, I got a couple friends from Dominican Republic and Brazil fighting each other, and this is real time.
Is
See?
this your homie from Brazil that you were talking about the last time?
Oh man, that guy. Um, No, actually, somebody else who's actually really, really good. But about him, how do you know about him?
We talked about it outside of this podcast once.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah. So, there's a lot of surprising people out there on this app. Right now, it it kind of like goes to show you that you never want to judge a book by its cover, right?
Right.
Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who is better than who. And from the person that we're talking about is he's the one that wins all my tournaments, right? And so far I have done 11 tournaments for
His name was Edu Edu, or he had some crazy name
no
like that.
Edu Zudu.
Edu Zudu.
Yeah, Edu Zudu from Brazil. He is, to me, by far the strongest Dudley player on GGPO, and he's close to being probably one of the strongest Dudleys on Fightcade. However, on GGPO, bar none, there's no one better than him when it comes to Dudley. And I mean, this kid, he just destroys the competition. I mean, he's won 9 out of the 10 run the set tournaments that I do for GGPO. Um, and those two, well, one he didn't participate in, and the other one, like, he did, fortunately lose, but he got in second place. However, I mean, he wins all my tournaments. He is just super talented when it comes to this, and he's on Fightcade now. So, congratulations to him. And he just got his A rank too. So,
Nice.
yeah. So I'm actually sponsoring him. So it's official. I'm actually sponsoring this person, and so he's kind of like professionally playing. So I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I mean, I run these tournaments for people in South America mainly, and anywhere uh, who who really wants a shot at what a real tournament is. Not saying that the people before me didn't run tournaments, uh, well, because they did,
Right.
because I participated in them. But there was a time where the main person who would run these tournaments, unfortunately, he disappeared, and somebody had to take up the mantle. And I felt really bad that this app that was just growing, but it's doing really good, it has purpose. you know I just felt bad that, like, people were saying, oh, the servers on Discord for this game, it's dead, or GGpro is not going anywhere, where are the tournaments? And it's just like, you know what, I have been around a lot of the tournament scene. So much so that I was like, let me try. Let me just give it a shot. And so I spoke up. And boy, was I scared, man. I was like, oh shit. I really felt like, should I have spoken up about this? And the correct answer was yes, should have. Um, so yeah, I said, okay, I'll run a tournament, and I'll name it Run the Set, because for some reason, right? Like, if you are a hardcore gamer or fighting game competitor, if you love fighting games, oftentimes, oftentimes or not, you're gonna hear somebody talk shit and be like, "All right, if you want to sell this and run the set, get on the sticks, run the set." And when I hear just like, "All right, run the set," it just like speaks to me. You know what I'm trying to say? It just like
Yes.
speaks to me to where it's like, oh, it's on. It's like it's
It's on like Donkey
yeah,
Kong.
exactly. It's on that Donkey Kong, and it's like, oh, like, you really want to go there? Like, all right, let's run the set. Let's do this. Let's see who's like the better man. And and it's kind of funny because Troy Boy, right? He participates a in another Run the Set, but on the Treasure Coast.
Okay.
Spelled completely different than mine, and but it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, I don't know how they operate really, right? Because I've only met the person who actually does the tournament at CEO, and I did meet Troy Boy again at CEO too, and I did get my run back with him, but I won one round. One is better than none. All right. However, it was really cool meeting him, right? The guy who actually does the Run the Set tournaments for the Treasure Coast, and talking to him and showing him what I'm doing, because it's like, hey, I'm doing like essentially what you're doing, but on a phone.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, how can you do this? How is this possible? And it's just, well, you got to see it. You got to, believe in the process, trust in the process. And to me, I want to say CEO is one of the best venues out there. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because I went to CEO. I went to CEO. Um, I went to CEO as a video game player, and I left CEO wanting to be more. than just a player or a spectator. I went in as CEO going as a spectator. I left there wanting to become a sponsor, wanting to grow my community, wanting to give people shots that they themselves feel like they can never get or imagine, all from a cell phone.
Right.
All from a cell phone, guys. And if you don't believe me, you have to see the stats for yourself. And I have people who have beaten other people on sticks, hardwired to the computer, and they're just beating them, just beating them. I mean, they're tough. You know, I'm not gonna lie. And I see their inputs too, like their little finger inputs. Like
Yeah.
I see like the little like blue outlines. Yeah, you probably seen it before. You see like when you're pressing a button to signify that's like okay, this button's pressed.
Yeah.
Like you could just see like like their inputs and them going crazy. But it's like for real, you know what I mean? And it I left there wanting a goal because I met Justin Wong, and I showed Justin Wong GGpro. That was like my mission to go into to CEO was to meet him and be like, hey, this is what I've been doing. I want your opinion on it. And I met Daigo too. He was really cool as well. But when I spoke to Justin and told him what I was doing, he's like, continue to preserve the legacy because this is important. This is cool. This is important. You are catering to another side of the FGC that is just as important as like the main ones that we're here that are here right now.
Right.
You know, and it really warms my heart that I can do these things. Putting a lot of effort and time into these tournaments, into these flyers, videos, building people up, things that I've never done, and now that I'm doing because I'm seeing my friends who they themselves have never done it, but they tried and they accomplished and they did, and learning from them, and that's what I love about it. I feel like I'm an extension from them, but on a smaller scale with this phone stuff. Because check this out, Luco. I mean, I have people from England coming to CEO because of me, all because they met me through this app. I have people everywhere coming to CEO. You, you know, this year because I'm like, you're good enough to come to CEO. Let's go. Bought their tickets and everything, man. Like, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That because for all we know, it's just like we're all strangers on a cell phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but see, that's what I'm saying. You know,
You're bridging gaps.
I'm bridging gaps, but see, the thing is, it's like with unrealistic, was it with unrealistic goals comes with unrealistic work ethic. And you learn to put yourself in these in these uh in these obstacles, right, to obtain what you want. And that's what everybody should really think about, for not only for video games or whatnot, but for their lives too. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be people who are not gonna believe in you, and when they finally see your product, right, they're gonna feel really dumb when it's like, oh man, at one point I didn't believe you, but like look at you now, you know. And so that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing.
Right.
That's why when I left CEO that night, I was like, I think I want to sponsor somebody. I think I really want to go the extra mile and make my server, which on Discord it's called the GGpro Zaibatsu, because we talked about it a couple of times.
Zaibatsu from Tekken.
Yeah, you know, Harada Sensei, don't sue me. But yes, I have a Discord called the GGpro Zaibatsu because it's a Discord server not only for Third Strike but for um older games alike, such as Mortal Kombat, all retro games, Mortal Kombat, Tekken 3, um, Super Turbo 2, just whatever you could think of. But I wanted to cater to the GGPO side. So it's all one under one roof, right? And but I wanted to grow this thing, this community, this idea that I have even more. So I'm very grateful that I went to CEO and CEO has blessed me with such an amazing, you know, experience that's just like I want to keep doing this, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yes, but just
And speaking of
yeah.
strangers, you also had another friend from England who was your sensei.
Hmm. Let's see. Let's see.
He
Who
was the half Russian guy.
Oh, that's actually the guy that's actually coming
Okay.
to from England over here to America. Yeah, funny enough. Yeah, Alexander Nuwati. Yeah, so it's crazy to talk about him because he's pretty much like the British version of me. Like
Right.
likes the same thing that I like. We have like the same middle name to first name. We both speak Russian. He's actually Russian. I have a Russian aunt. We're literally like the same people. He even looks like me. You know what I mean? And I was just talking.
Short hair, long beard.
Yeah. Yeah, well, not like long beard, but he's a little bit darker than me, but same like hair, head. You know, we could be related. And I was actually just talking to him a couple minutes ago before coming on over here. He's actually going. Get this. He's actually doing a world tour because of me.
That's crazy.
He's doing a world tour in the UK. He's doing a world tour in the EU right now for Third Strike, and right now he's on his way to Ireland and Norway to compete in Third Strike in the northernmost FGC that is out there, like in general in the whole world. So you know, I wish him the best in his travels and his tournaments. You know, I hope he wins that local because you know he does definitely deserve it, and he's one of the best heroes I've ever seen. You know, using special arts too, and he's taught me quite a bit too. You know, not only with the game but about life as well. And he's such a you know, great person. Um, a lot of the people who I come across. They've all been like really good. But yeah, that guy, I you know, and just to think, like I met him, I met him on Discord. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Right.
But the way that he met me, he was going through Start GG because I used Start GG on my first tournament and disaster. I don't like Start GG to be honest with you. Like it was tough for me to navigate to for everybody to navigate. It doesn't work on cell phones, and it was just a pain in the neck. However, I digress. He was looking for tournaments, and he saw my tournament, and he's all like, "Bro, just got in a Third Strike. You know, well, got in a Third Strike competitively from the UK, and I just want to pretty much be on the same even playing field on Fightcade and GGPO. So he always has like that competitive edge, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it doesn't feel like he teeters from one way to another, right? And I thought that was smart. Well, on the day that he could participate, right, he kind of missed it, and it's like, oh darn, hey, do you want to go on another Street Fighter Third Strike tournament like in 15 minutes? I'm like, dude, I don't even know you. But for sure, yeah, let's go.
That's
Like,
so fucking funny.
yeah, it's like we've been talking for months, and and it's like the first time I actually hear his voice, it was like, yeah, man, I'm sorry I couldn't go to your tournament, but there's another tournament happening in like 10 minutes. You want to join? I'm like, Not really. But he's like, "Oh, come on, man. All right, fuck it, let's do it."
That's so
and,
funny.
and it was it was a Fightcade one. It was really cool. So he's one of my best friends, and he's also the one that you see. You know what? And it's funny because a lot of what I've done, right, and the people who I've asked to come to CEO with me, I feel like they're like my little gang.
Right.
You know, I feel like we're about to pull up to CEO, get on these cabs just to get walked down. No. But like, I just, I just feel so good.
You guys got to get a bunch of suits and reenact the end of Yakuza 4.
There you go. And Yakuza is a great freaking franchise. Great franchise. You know, it's also a great franchise. Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden
Nin-
is a great franchise.
Ninja Gaiden. The 3D one. That's a great franchise. You know, I'm all about video games. I love video games.
Were you ever a fan of Dead or Alive? Since we're on the topic of Ninja Gaiden,
You know, I didn't want to say, I didn't want to say, but yes, I, I like Dead or Alive. I didn't get into Dead or Alive as a kid. Um, but where I saw Dead or Alive, I played, picked up, and I'm like, this is just a more floaty Tekken.
it really is.
Yeah, it's like a more floaty Tekken, and it's like when I saw a Virtua Fighter, I'm like, this is Sega DOA. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's great. Like all of them are great. You know, rest in peace to the creator of Dead or Alive. However, Dead or Alive 6 last round is coming out, and Dead or Alive 7 just got announced. So that's fantastic. You know, much love to the game and the people who make it, because making a game is not easy, and that's what I went to college for.
absolutely.
Yeah, to make video games. And you know, I'm still striving to make a game. I want to make a fighting game, which I started utilizing Mugen. I don't know if you've
I'm
ever.
very familiar with Mugen. Mugen's been around since I was a literal jit in middle school, maybe even earlier than that.
Dude, so I'm 32 now, right? And I've been messing with Mugen since I was 16. And there was a time where I fell off of Mugen, but then I hopped back into it because I was at my buddy Batista's house, who taught me how to play Third Strike, and I was watching him and another buddy of mine play Street Fighter 4, and I'm just like, and I had my computer with me too, and I was just like, man, I remember when I was young and passionate about making Mugen. I'll be up all night downloading characters, adding them into the roster, changing the music, changing the stages, you know, doing cosmetic stuff, and, you know, adding characters. But it's just like, what about like the meat and potatoes of it?
Yeah,
I never got into the coding side, or barely any of the coding side. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna remake the Mugen that I started in college, called Enemies of Fear, which is a either I have a hard time with this, either a 2v2 or a 3v3 tag team game, right? With evil characters versus evil characters,
okay.
right? So, but it's not something that's gonna be like everything versus everything. It's supposed to be like uh, Street Fighter versus KOF versus Mortal Kombat versus Tekken versus Guilty Gear.
Okay.
You know, having that mix, but evil characters, you know, fighting each other.
Yes.
And I wanted to be like a hardcore, heavy, like, not everything goes, but you're gonna see like a lot of bullshit that links into other bullshit,
Yes.
and it's just an extravaganza. But also, I wanted it to be like, you have to go in the lab and learn these combos,
Right.
right? And It was called Enemies of Fear. That was the name of the screen pack, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna make a game all out of it called Enemies of Fear, because why not? Everything's already set up, and it's still under development. I've had a couple people play it, and they're just like, dude, you gotta release it. Like, you gotta release this, and it's fun. It's really fun. It's really you made it, kind of, you're starting to make it when people are all like, is that plus on wake up? People are asking like, what is this? Is this plus on block? What is this? What's the O key on this? And it's just like, damn, man, people are really like breaking this game down, and oh man, it feels so good. Like, my buddy Courtney Gist, uh, shout out, aka Red Spectre, and also my buddy Grim. Grim TG run the set. Grim, sleeves rolled up. Grim, you know. I remember at the Kava bar, Island Vibes Kava bar, I brought the game in, and I told I was getting tacos. I was hungry as fuck. I was getting tacos,
Right.
and I had the game up, and I was just like, guys, if you want to fool around with the game. Here, I even set it up for you guys. Here, go ahead. So I left, got my food, and like I could hear, like like from me turning, I could hear it, and like in the distance, like, oh, is this plus on block? Like, what is this? How do I do this? Oh, what, that hits? It felt so good as a developer just to hear those words, because it's like, you don't know how long I've been grinding to achieve those mechanics, or to achieve just that, to make it work, at least semi work.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it really does take a lot out of you as the developer, as the person putting your efforts into this, and it is draining. But when you think of the bigger purpose here, you're doing it for a whole community, not just for yourself.
Right.
And that in and of itself is very rewarding.
Right.
It's like, it feels good when someone at the random picks up your game, plays it, has fun with it, even though they don't know what to do, and they're just having fun, and they're like, oh man, this is good, and it feels really good. Like, I had, do you know a guy named Nightbreed?
No, I don't know Nightbreed.
Nightbreed, okay. He is he's one of like the famous players down in South Florida, the Pompano area too. For I guess the team is called Island, and he plays a lot of Street Fighter and whatnot. And I remember I went to a get together, right, with a bunch of my friends, and he was there, right. So we were cool and, kicking back and whatnot. Same scenario again. I guess I think I had to go. I went outside for something, to get something or other. I forget what, but I brought my computer and I had my game up, but I didn't have it loaded, you know, to where like the last time.
Right.
So when I came back, I saw like the game on, character like in training mode, and my fight stick like kind of used. And I'm like, I don't remember like leaving this shit like this. I'm like, who the fuck? And I have Nightbreed, coming back, and he's like, bro, whatever you made right there, that shit is hot. Keep making it. I'm like, wow. I'm
Fuck
like,
yeah.
what? Because someone that is known, playing your game, just at a random, and them liking it, and I feel like when you have that, you made progress, right?
Yes.
So it did feel really good to me, you know, knowing that, seeing that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much it for that, and for CEO, and what's been going on in my life. There's actually been a lot going on in terms of this FGC, and and GGpro and what I have going on. You,
Right.
you know, um, I do plan on traveling for Third Strike actually.
Okay. Where we could traveling to?
Brazil,
Oh, for real?
Evo Brazil.
That's sick.
So so my buddy Edu, right? He asked me like, "Hey, we're making strides right now." And I just sponsored him, officially. So it's like, what better way to continue this is than to come to Evo Brazil. I've never been out of the country before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he because he was supposed to come over here, but due to what's going on in our world, and I can't, visas are very hard to come by. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to come to CEO and free up the competition, you know.
Right.
So he's gonna free up the competition in Brazil, But no, he was just asking me like, "Hey, would you like to go to Eva Brazil?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" If I'm still here, yeah, hell yeah, I would love to go. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, man, like, if you have any more questions, I mean, this is fantastic.
I got you. I think we're gonna wrap it up from here. My last question for you is: do you have any advice for any new peeps coming into the FGC?
Yes. So, um, and this is kind of funny. And now I know I do ramble on, but hear me out when I say this. I was actually talking to my friend Alex about this, and he asked me like, well, what what constitutes as like unconditional love for this game? You know what I mean? Um, and I think what it is, and for anything, is not giving up. Not giving up when things get tough.
Right.
And I really want to tell people this because I used to be the type of person that would not believe all these social media influencers, or just, yeah, let's see that, social media influencers that they're rich and famous now, and they're like, oh, anybody can do it, you just got to believe in yourself and just get at it. I didn't believe any of that shit. I believe that, right place, right time, whatever. You got lucky. It's who you know, not what you know. But honestly, after doing what I have been doing, it's like, it's good if you get the benefit of right place, right time, but fuck all that shit. If there is something that you want to do,
Yes.
and if it's getting into the FGC, no matter what, right? Whatever game you play, doesn't matter. You are part of this community, and you can start anything that you set your mind to. I was, and I I wish I can be so much more literal than what I'm about to be right now, but because there's a camera, I can't really like say, I can't have like thousands of people like in front of me. I can't really say this to 1,000 people in front of me, but I mean, I was just a random Joe Schmo, sitting behind a little Game Boy screen about this big not too long ago, playing in tournaments, and now here I am making tournaments, going to CEOs, sponsoring people, making videos of these people. I mean, all it takes is a dream. Faith plus action equals the laws of attraction, and you believing in yourself, knowing that I can do this regardless of whatever obstacle comes my way, whatever trials and tribulations come my way. If this is what I really want, I can do this. And for me, that if this is what I really want, I can do this, only came after the trials, the tribulations, things not working out, people getting mad at you, people, you know, uh, saying nasty things. You know, I'll put it to you like this. There, before I started the Zaibatsu, there was this guy who said that my tournaments wouldn't amount to anything.
Right.
He literally said that my tournaments wouldn't amount to anything and that I'm wasting my time. And that pissed me off so much because I already had a following of people who were ready to jump on board with me at a moment's notice that when I release a tournament because I did something for the community.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I had a naysayer. Well, I'm already 11 tournaments deep, about to be on my 12th, about to release another tournament for Guru Mark of the Wolves. I already sponsored somebody and I work with the app itself, with the creator sometimes. I don't know. Do you think my time was wasted?
I don't know. People just like to yap, bro. Some people are just so full hot air.
People, a lot of people are envious of others who have a dream and execute it,
Yes.
because it's so easy to just do this and sit behind a TV screen, and sometimes even I do it, which sometimes I'm at fault for it. When I catch myself, I'm grateful that I catch myself, because that's how I know that I'm growing. You know what I mean, as a person.
Right.
And knowing that if you put your mind to it, 100% honest to God, you can achieve absolutely anything. And if you ask me what are my biggest accomplishments ever, I would have to say starting the GGpro Zaibatsu, taking that leap and saying I'm gonna make tournaments for you guys. And not only that, Luco, I'm gonna bring you guys paid tournaments, paid tournaments for free. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to join in, and whoever gets first, second, or third gets, the prize, but it's coming out of, my money. And the thing is, I don't care. What what I truly care about is giving you guys, my people, an experience that you guys won't forget, an experience that you keep coming back to,
Right.
you know, because it would mean the world to me. Think about it like this: it would mean the world to me. Or how cool would it be if one day you can tell your friends, family, or even your children that, like, yeah, from a cell phone, I was brought to America, right, to play in a tournament, and I beat Jay Wong, or I beat, you know, MOV, or I beat, whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I get to play with the greats. And that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. And I'm just so stunned. So the advice that I have for anybody that wants to get into anything, or FGC, we'll leave it at the FGC. Put your put your foot in the door at any given moment. Doesn't matter what. If you do not know how to play a game, there will be someone or something, videos on YouTube that will teach you how to play these games, and all you need to do is just practice and learn it. And there's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be people that piss you off. There's going to be people who are going to beat your ass and think they're the best, but you know what, those same people don't know what's to come when you practice.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that that right there is the most beautiful thing that I could think of. So always try hard, always do your best. You know, always know that your ideas are worth it and they do matter, and just continue to be great. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much like my advice to people that want to get into this type of scene.
Fuck yeah. Thank you, Gabe, for coming on to the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Luco. Thank you guys for listening in. My friend here, he does amazing work, and I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to talk because I do want to share this well my amazing progress, or excuse me, my progress, and just this app and what's been going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, catch you next week. This is your boy, Metahuman out.